This Hangout on Air is live, and I'm live. So this video is different. This lighting is different. I look like, I don't know, it looks like a trailer of a movie. Like half of my face is like hidden. Um, it's cool. But in this video, this is really just me thinking out loud, and sharing my thought process with whoever is bored enough to listen to it or to view it. And so I have my very first technical interview coming up that's focused on F sharp, or leveraging F sharp as a programming language. And so I'm looking for katas to do so I could just prep myself and just hopefully develop a muscle memory. Honestly, I haven't written F sharp I haven't written functional F sharp in a while. I've been doing object oriented F sharp, and I shared my findings or my experiences on .NET Rocks a couple weeks ago. But this is different. This is more functional. I'm not. I assume that this technical interview is going to be focused on the functional aspects of F sharp, and so I'm trying. I'm prepping. This is me fumbling down the field as I continue to move the ball closer and closer to my objective, right, the touchdown. So with that said, enough talk. What I'm going to do is I am going to share my screen, and I'm going to try to take you through what's supposed to be a simple exercise, Fizzbuzz, and how I'm going to write C# to satisfy that programming challenge. So if I do screen share, I do full screen, and I do start screen share, then hopefully my screen is showing. I'll do present to everyone. And the first thing I'm going to do is, it's hard for me to get in the flow when writing F sharp code. Like in C#, like I could get into a trance, and I'm in flow, I'm in rhythm, I'm just F sharp. I haven't really achieved that, but I'm sure the more I do it, especially the more debugging I'll do within F sharp, which I think I'll probably do less because it's a different way of building a system. Maybe the higher the probability that I can actually achieve the same competency in the same flow that I would have when writing C# code. So anyway, I'm going to attempt to discuss writing a program for the popular programming exercise Fizzbuzz. And so this is F sharp. I haven't really learned to do everything in the REPL. I use the REPL, but it's not the way that everybody else uses it that are like technical authorities on this functional first programming language. So like the first thing I do, I hope my screen is viewable, is I introduce this notion of a module. I call it temp. You call it whatever you want. And from there, this is all about Fizzbuzz, right? So what does that mean? Fizzbuzz is basically like taking a sequence of numbers, like 1 to, say, 15. We could say 0 to make things interesting. And say, let numbers equals, 0 to 15. And then for every number within the set of numbers that is divisible by 3, you print off fizz. If it's divisible by 5, you print off buzz. And if it's divisible by both 3 and 5, then you print off Fizzbuzz. Else, if it does not satisfy all those rules, then you just print out the number. That's my understanding of it, right? And so like we see this right here. If I select that statement, let numbers equal 0 to 15, I do Alt Enter, it sends it to the REPL, and we see that we have our sequence of numbers right here. See this sequence of numbers? Yeah, me highlighting it. So that's okay. But what we want to do is we want to take the sequence of numbers and we want to run it through this program that's going to satisfy our Fizzbuzz requirement, right? And so what does that mean? Well, I'll probably have like a function called run. Let run equal function, I think. Function. And the way I hope this, how do I do this? The way that I hope this comes out is this run function is actually going to take an individual number, right? One specific number, and it's going to see if that number basically is going to be, again, divisible by 3, divisible 5, divisible by 3 or 5, or not, period. And it's going to output a string, you know, fizz, buzz, or just the number itself. So this run function is supposed to take in this sequence of, well, it's not going to take in the sequence of numbers. It's going to take a number, right? So it really doesn't know anything about this right here. Let me go ahead and delete that for right now. And so what I really want to do is I want to say, hey, let run equals function, and then I could say x when x mod 3 equals 0, right? Then you could say fizz, okay? Then we could say x when x mod 5 equals 0. And then you say buzz, right? And then you say, so this is probably, this depends on the order of execution. So more than likely, I think we probably want to say when, or x when x is divisible by 3 or 5, right? Or 3 and 5. Probably want to do something like this. So Fizzbuzz, you know? So that's how I think the structure is supposed to go. X divided by 3. Oh yeah, I gotta say equals 0. X, or not divided by, x mod 5 equals 0. All right. And maybe, I guess it's supposed to be for humans to read. X when, yeah. We're good. Do some alignment. If I use the shift alt and then I use the arrow key up or down, that can select multiple lines within the particular column of the editor that I'm in, and I can move multiple lines like that, right, by using the shift alt combination, and then hitting the up key several times or the down key several times. I can shift lines of characters or columns of characters back and forth. So anyway, this says incomplete pattern match. I guess the next part is when I just want to say X, and then I just say sprint. Is it sprint? I always forget what the name of the function is. And I say X. Can I do that? Or is it sprint F? Oh, like I said, it's been a while since I've been focused on the functional side of F sharp, but I think this works. Yeah. So that's my run function. It looks okay to me, right? So then what I want to do is I want to say I essentially want to say, hey, this 0 to stop, the 0 to 15. I want to feed that list of numbers, right, into this run function that I just implemented up here. And so uh, I essentially want to take this and I want to run this through this list.map function, right? And this list.map function is going to take for each element within this sequence of elements, or this collection of elements. This map function is going to take that specific element that was passed in, and it's going to map it to a different data type, and it's going to ultimately generate a list of a completely different data type based on the list that was provided that feeds into this function called map. So essentially, we take a number like 0, 1, 2, 3, all the way to 15. We call this map function, and this map is going to take 0 and it's going to map it based on this function to some string, right? And it's going to take 1, it's going to map it to some string, right? And it's going to take 15 inevitably, and it's going to map it to some string. So essentially, it's taking an int and it's mapping it to a string, right? And then it's the function right here that is really the implementation details, right? What kind of strings are we actually generating? So I would think that I should be able to just pass in like this run, I hope. And yeah, that looks fine. It says the expression should have type unit, but has type string list, ignore. Yeah, okay, so I could maybe do this. Pipe that to some I'm missing an N, ignore function, and hopefully the compiler is happy. The compiler is happy. And what I hope to achieve is, well, OCD's taking over. Okay. What I hope to achieve is I run this list of numbers. I call the map function. Each element within that list will actually execute this run function that I implemented, and I should see if I clear out this right here, this interactive window, right, as I circle my cursor in this interactive window, I hope that we're going to see numbers 0 through 15, and for each number within the set of numbers of 0 to 15, we're going to see like the actual number, or we're going to see fizz, or we're going to see buzz, or we're going to see Fizzbuzz, but the majority of the time we're probably just going to see the actual number. Let's see if that works. Let's see if that works. And that did not work the way I wanted. So what if I delete the ignore part and I say let results equal this 0 to 15, whatever. And now I try this again, and I select all the code that I want, and I do this Alt Enter, and yeah, dog. All right, so this interactive window updated, and if you missed it, let me clear out this interactive window by hitting Control-Alt-C. That clears it out. That's the shortcut. Control-Alt-C. It clears out the interactive window. I select this text again. Yeah, and then I do Alt-Enter. And you see that this F-sharp interactive window is again populated, right? And so the first thing that it does is it compiles down, I guess. People correct me, I don't know. It basically compiles down this run function, right? And it then goes ahead and it executes this logic in which we have 0 through 15 as a set of numbers, and it passes those set of numbers to this run function via a map operation, or a map function. Now within this F-sharp interactive window, we see within order, 0 is going to map to Fizzbuzz because 0 is divisible by both 3 and 5, as I highlight over here, and then 1 is not divisible by neither 3 or 5, so we just have 1. Same thing as 2, but you know what? 3 is divisible by 3, so it's going to do fizz. Then we have 4, which isn't divisible by anything, but you know what? 5 is divisible by 5. It's going to print buzz, and we see the pattern. 6 is divisible by 3. So you see the pattern right here. 14 isn't divisible by anything, but 15 is, and 15 is fizz buzz. Yo. All right. So I'm glad that worked out. So there's other things that we can do, right? But this is keep it simple, right? This whole Fizzbuzz exercise right here. It's keeping it simple. It's minimizing the footprint of the code that I think is necessary to run. But we can make this a little bit more readable, but it's going to be a little bit more bloat. So what do I mean? Well, there's this notion of active patterns, right? In which active patterns is essentially a label that represents a function that you can just use within your pattern matching to deal with, I would argue, to deal with maintainability concerns if someone thinks that the current code that's reflected in pattern matching looks somewhat cryptic or obfuscated. So we can leverage active patterns to minimize the what appears to be complexity by making things a little bit easier to read. And I mean, that's based on, personal opinion. So what does that mean? Well, that means that I could define the active pattern, and which essentially is a function within itself, I would argue, but I'm still a novice for the most part. And I could say let, and then within parentheses, I use these pipes, right? And I could say I say let is fizz, maybe, and then is did I say fuzz or bit buzz? Is buzz? Maybe something like that. Is buzz, and I can say is neither. Come on, let's do this. And yeah, okay. And then I should essentially be able to take this right here. I'll do control, or no, I'll do shift alt, and I select these lines, and then I just like that, and I should be able to uh-huh yeah. Can I do this right here? Can I do this right here? Function, can I add that? Are you happy? No, you're not happy when I do that. Why aren't you happy when I do that? Because I didn't do anything here. So then I could say I hope I can use function in here. I could say is Fizzbuzz, and then I could say right here is Fizz, I hope, and then right here I could say is Buzz, and then over here I could say, yeah. Here I could say is neither. I hope I could do that. The compiler's happy, right? I don't get any red squigglies. Okay. And come here, yeah. All right. And so that would essentially, theoretically, I'll put that on my clipboard. Theoretically, I should be able to do this now. I should be able to say, I should be able to get rid of, you know what? I should be able to essentially get rid of all this right here. And I should instead be able to, let's bring this back up. I should instead be able to do this is fizz buzz. Did I spell fizz right? I don't know. Is fizz buzz, and then I should be able to yeah. There we go. And then I should be over here saying like what's this one? Is fizz? Is fizz? Yeah, come here. And yeah, come on, yeah. And then over here, say like, is buzz? Come on, yeah. Come here, yeah. Come on. And then we have like this X, but we gotta follow the pattern. So we say is neither. Come here. Yeah, come on. And that is neither. It's supposed to print out the number, but it's not printing out the number. It can't print out the number because we have this compile issue right here. All right, so it says a value x is not defined, and of course it's not defined. So we could try to do like this, but x still won't be defined, right? Because, well, I guess it will be. It says it's incompatible. And it says some stuff that I don't really understand. Now, if I put it over here, then the squiggly goes away, and it's happy. It's happy if I attach that particular number to this this discriminated union case. I don't even know if I feel comfortable saying that, to this active pattern value. I don't know, maybe that's better. Someone can correct me on that. But what if I didn't want to do that? Like right now, I could do, you know, Control Shift B, and of course it's going to say it failed. Why would you fail on me? Hold up. If I do Control \E, that's a shortcut for looking at errors. And it says namespace temp candidate. Yeah, okay. So that means absolutely nothing. I can say temp1 and then attempt to build Control Shift B, and it's happy. Now let's look at this, right? Now I had to this. I mean, it probably doesn't matter, but let's say no, Scott, it does matter. I don't want to. I want to leave it as is. Like, yeah, I don't want to attach a value to this. It is neither active pattern case. I don't know what the right name is. So, but when we do that and we have it just like this, we have this red squiggly. So something that I learned is if we just, I hope I'm right. If I just do as x, and it compiles again, right? And so yeah, that's straight. And so originally I could collapse that. We now have this run function, and this is a little bit more readable, right? It still kind of hides the implementation details, and that's where we get up here. Now, I admit this is kind of overkill for this programming kata, or code kata, but I mean, I'm just trying to share with you what I've learned. So we can go ahead and execute this in our REPL. Yeah, in case you didn't miss it, let me reset Control-Alt-C in my F# Interactive. Select all this again. Come on. Yo, come on. Oh, yeah. And we get the same results. And that's essentially it, man. So let me go back to me. Let me stop screen sharing. And hopefully this is focused back on me, and I had this cool little movie theater like showing half of my face. And that was me attempting to demonstrate Fizzbuzz in F#, and then extending that programming exercise with the feature called active patterns that, as far as I'm concerned, is an F# exclusive. So that's it, and I am trying my hardest to get into a flow. And yeah, this is more for me than it is for you. So that's it. My name is Scott Nimrod. I'm down here in Miami Beach by way of Cleveland, Ohio. I'm available for hire. And this programming exercise was really based on my insecurity, because I need to get my mind back into functional programming, aka FP, so I can feel some type of like confidence when they start asking me all these questions. Thank you. I'm recording this journey, and I'm hitting the stop broadcast button. My dog is out here looking at me. I'm hitting the stop broadcast button in 3, 2, 1.